Hey guys, and welcome to Movie Mumbles, where the mumbles have movies and the movies have mumbles. Yeah, I did a tagline. That's pretty cool.
That was...
Shut the fuck up. I'm doing the introductions this time.
Okay, go.
I'm here with my boy Roy. Say hi, Roy.
Hi.
God damn it.
What?
It's like a complete role reversal. You're like all, and I'm like, hey!
Okay.
So this is a little podcast called Movie Mumbles, where we literally mumble about movies. Each week we pick a new movie to watch in a theme, and we watch it, and then we talk about it, basically. I said each week. It's not really each week.
No,
like
it's not really, but I mean, this is technically like about it.
Who cares? Fuck it. So yeah, we're currently on the theme of animation, and last week's pick was... It's not a fucking week! Stop saying week, Womble.
Oh, God.
Last Movie Mumbles pick was my pick, and I picked The Iron Giant. That's also why I'm doing this really cringe-worthy...
Yeah, very much word.
It's like stop and start
I think I should just...
It's my job now.
Stick to the intros. Okay.
No, I want to do another intro. I had fun doing that. That was fun.
Oh, so we're not starting, so we're just...
Yeah, so anyway...
I think I might still have included...
Just shut the fuck up. This is my turn, right?
Okay, go.
So, Roy...
Yes?
What did you think of The Iron Giant?
Oh, we're going to start in discussion right now? Are we going to start?
Yeah.
Okay, we can start the timers already?
I've already started my timer.
Okay,
Let's go.
Well, I'll start. Okay, so, I really like this movie, actually. I was actually very impressed. I mean, I've heard good things about it, but when I actually saw the film, I was actually very much impressed with what I saw. Well, first off, right off the bat, the animation is incredible. Like, this is traditional animation... Along with some surprisingly really good CGI for the Iron Giant. I did not ever think it was actually CGI. I honestly thought it was some very good traditional animation. It was such a great mix, I barely even noticed. I didn't even notice, actually, throughout the film. And the story is also very good. I like the characters are interesting, the performances are good. It's just a very good movie. We can go more in depth, but I'm just gonna start off by saying I really, really enjoyed this movie, actually. Yeah.
So, the movie starts off with a meteor coming down from...
What we think is a meteor.
Space. But it's spacey stuff. Yeah, and then it turns out to be the Iron Giant that lands and cracks... Oh, shit! I didn't say there's going to be spoilers ahead. There's going to be spoilers ahead.
I mean, it's...
I think it's not too late yet. We've not really given
we gave the beginning.
Yet. There's going to be fucking spoilers, guys.
Yeah.
Should know that
nobody's ever heard of the ending of the Iron Giant, so, like, we're good.
Yeah, I know. These are kind of major spoilers as well. So, like, I definitely advise people to watch this because it's kind of like a... For me, because I know this film from growing up, right?
Yeah.
I was 8 when this came out. I went to see... This was one of the first things I saw in the cinema. It scared the living shit out of me when I was a kid. Didn't like it. I've watched it as an adult about 3-4 times now. This is probably about the 4th. And I love it each time I watch it. I know last time I said... it's not a big thing for me, but this kind of is a big film for me because it's a thing from my childhood. I didn't want to give you, like... I didn't want to over-promote it in case that you didn't like it. So I'm glad you liked it. But yeah, no, I love this. I don't think it's the best film, but I think it's a really fucking good film. Like, it's entertaining, it's funny, it's serious when it needs to be. It's got great characters. It's got great in-depth sources, and like you said, the animation's great to watch, and the story flows really well.
I have to say, yeah, very emotionally speaking, it's like, it handles the comedy very well, it handles the drama very good. There's some, like, deep moments in this. Like, there's, like, people consider animation a kid's genre, and while this is definitely kid-friendly, I wouldn't say, like, for the most part, kids can handle most of this stuff, but there are some seriously, like, deep... like moments, in particular, like the whole deer scene and the stuff after that.
Oh yeah. Well, I think what they did with the deer thing was actually quite...
Yeah, no.
It was actually quite clever because they related it to Bambi, which isn't actually a Warner Brothers property, and I kind of like that. Like, if you think about it, Bambi is obviously Disney, and Warner Brothers are always are on catch-up with Disney. Like, they've never really come up with things that are such a critically acclaimed... hits as Disney do, with the exception of probably Harry Potter. Like, everyone loves Harry Potter.
So you think it's kind of subtle dig at Disney in a way?
Well, no, I just think it was a nice reference to have in there because Bambi is one of the first thing, and this is going slightly away from the topic of the Iron Giant, but Bambi is like kind of like the first thing I remember as a kid where a cartoon deals with the death of a family member and like the real life death. So I think it was more of a homage.
Okay.
So I'm glad that Warner Brothers let that in because
definitely.
we all know what Brad Bird did next animation wise, and that was a film with Disney, and that's The Incredibles.
Okay. I think, kind of going along with that, like, this also deals with death. I think even in a more mature and interesting way than Bambi took it.
Yes, definitely.
Like, it's a very little scene. It's not like plot relevant, but it is kind of like very crucial to like understanding the themes of the film. This kind of pacifistic kind of message of like we can kind of get along and like it's not right to kill, essentially.
Yeah. The great thing is that like the kid says it himself.
Yeah.
When he's trying to explain what the Iron Giant is. He says he's like a child, he's still learning, and that's because of this bump on his head. He's lost programming somewhere. He's forgotten what his original mission is because he's crash landed, and he's discovering everything through an innocence of childhood.
Yeah, definitely.
And when he sees like the deer, and he becomes sad, and you feel for the Iron Giant. He's got emotions, and then later on, when that reflects back when he's the one, and he finds out that he's a weapon of mass destruction, which he is. Like it's kind of great to see that internal conflict. I'm gonna say quickly though, when that scene came up and I watched it, I honestly thought at first that the Iron Giant was actually gonna crush the deer because he had his finger so near it, and like. Actually, I've heard, I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I've heard that was actually how the scene was supposed to go. He was actually supposed to kill the deer at first, but then... I don't know about that. I haven't actually looked that far into this film. Mainly because I don't want to spoil it. It's already a pretty good film.
I mean, it's a spoiler-full review. We didn't have that much trouble.
No, I mean, like, it's going to spoil my experience. That's what I
mean. Oh, okay, I get you.
Yeah.
No, okay. But I'm glad with how the scene went, anyway. So,
that was a really good scene. The film is filled with really great moments. I think the one thing that it does lack is a good villain. So really the main villain is like this FBI style agent who appears in the village of Rockwell, and he's trying to trace down the Iron Giant, and he kind of puts other people at risk in the end.
Yeah.
He gets almost manic in his search, and you don't quite feel for him. Like, good villains, I always think, that have to have a rich backstory that you can believe in and that you understand and that you can root for. And with this, like, it's kind of like a cartoony villain. But then, having said that, there's so much character development in the kid and the giant and the other surrounding characters as well that I don't think you really need a good villain for this film.
Yeah, I think the villain is serviceable. I wouldn't say he's great, but I do think, like, I do agree. He moves the plot along, and there are some interesting, like, ish moments with him. I do think it's kind of interesting that he is at first kind of comedic, but there is still like a twisted nature to him. Like, he chloroforms the kid, like that was not something I expected.
Well, yeah, he starts getting very manic in his ideals. Like, he then starts taking this passion for the hunt, to hunt down this Iron Giant too far. Like, he finds out that, like, in the last bit where the Iron Giant is running away and running away from the army after he's already started blowing things up, and the army is still after him. He has the kid in his hands. The inspector finds this out and he ignores it, and it's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, that's like he just wants to kill him at that point, even though there's a kid.
And then it's his fault that the Iron Giant dies in the end.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't really die because it's always alluded to like him surviving because he fixes himself.
Well, but like I think it's very explicit at the end that he is like alive. Obviously, he turns on it.
Yes,
and I do think they employ a lot of these like story elements that you kind of that come back in interesting ways, and that was one of them. That was
one of my favorite bits about this film, and I'm gonna go full into like the full metal jacket on this kind of thing now.
Metal jacket,
yeah. God damn it. That wasn't intentional. Come on, please don't do that. Like, one of the things that I really genuinely enjoy about this film is the ending. Like, it's the giant believes that his friend is dead, and then the more the army throws at him, the bigger and badder he gets.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And that was always the thing that's terrified me. I was terrified of the Iron Giant as a kid. But so much so that I would keep watching it. And I think I must have watched it a couple of times. I had it on VHS, and I did like to rewatch. But it was the scary moments.
Performance in this is, from that main lead, is very good. I think, like, he gets that aspect of kids. He's, like, very energized, he's very enthusiastic, but he has a good heart, and he's also, in a way, kind of a father to this giant, in a way. And I think it's very interesting, like, kind of the arc that goes with his character. I think it's a very good performance, and yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm actually trying to find out.
I know who did
the voice of
it's
that.
Eli.
Now. Oh, who was it?
I don't know how to say his last name. Maranthiel. Here's the funny thing. He's been in American Pie. He was in American Pie. The kid was like a
I recognize his face. I've just found him. So in 1999, he would have been 23. So he doesn't count as a kid actor. I don't like kid actors. I like kid characters. This character had.
There's no way he was the same age. There's no way he was the same age from American Pie that he is in.
Well, he was born in 19.
Well, just because the film.
Born in
remember, this is animation. Just because the voice was. Just because the film was released in 1999 didn't mean like he was recorded.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
But
either way, he wasn't like young. He wasn't 7. That's usually what I don't like. But
I'm pretty sure he's pretty sure he's young.
No,
at this point.
The reason why I like this this character is because he doesn't have an ailment. He doesn't have asthma. He's not disabled, and they don't play on that. Like,
sorry.
No.
Okay,
Listen, hear me out. Because whenever they give child actors an ailment, they play on it so badly. It's almost as though the writers are trying to overthrow this sympathy thing right down your face. When a believable character, regardless of who he is, you can root for him anyway. So he doesn't have any ailments. He does have his own problems, like he's bullied at school, but they don't overplay
I understand that. Yeah.
Like he mentions it 1 or 2 times, and that's about it. That's what I mean. So like, if he was disabled or whatever, like he wouldn't keep mentioning it. That's the way that the film's going. Like if they keep throwing it in your face, like throwing it down and down and down again, it just gets repetitive and boring, and then you lose empathy and. It's, or you can get like the whole terrible acting worth of.
No, I understand.
But with this performance, it was really good. But there's something else I want to talk about with the voice actors, because Vin Diesel,
yeah,
he did
definitely.
the voice of the Iron Giant.
That was something I want to talk about too. Yeah.
Now, this is kind of important because he's also Groot, and he does pretty much the exact same voice as Groot. And this was one of the reasons why I wanted to show you, because this is kind of like his show reel for how he got into the galaxy.
I got like, it's very much a same feel. That said, as much as I love Guardians of the Galaxy and Groot, I think this is a much more in-depth, like, personal performance of...
It is. Well, oh, definitely, because... It's compelling, it keeps the character going, he very slowly learns words. He only has like 14, 15 words through the whole film, but they all have a specific meaning. Like, even from when he's trying to name a rock and a tree, like, it all has a very specific meaning. Like, it shows that the character is growing, and then, what's the superhero that he keeps naming that he doesn't want to be? Not Superman.
The evil machine guy, yeah.
Yeah, the evil machine that he thinks he is,
yeah.
And he keeps saying that, and then he realizes, no, I'm Superman, and that's like his final thing, what he says at the end. That is an amazing sequence, and it's really well put together, and that's all because Vin Diesel did a really great job of saying like 14 words.
You can argue over whether he's good in like Fast and Furious or whatever, but that guy is made to do large characters who don't speak that much, but you still care for. It's a very specific type of role,
Yes.
but he handles it well.
Well, he's done it twice now. But yeah, yes.
No, I definitely agree. Like Vin Diesel, like I bet you like people in 1999 or 1999. Yeah, actually, I said that right. Like they probably would have thought like, oh, Vin Diesel doing a robot, that's just gonna be like terrible. But he does a very good job, honestly. He does.
To be honest, now I can't really say because I was only 8, but I don't think anyone really knew who Vin Diesel was in 1999. Apart, like, he hadn't really done too much. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. He might have done a few things here and there, but he's not as big as what he is now. Obviously, like the Fast and Furious and the Riddick series, they're like his big hitters that he's done, and then obviously Guardians. 1999, I'm not sure, but I don't think he had done that much.
He was in Saving Private Ryan apparently, so that, I mean,
yes, he was. Yeah, but he was only a bit part in that.
Yeah, true.
He was one of the soldiers that marched with Tom Hanks. But I mean, he didn't have like a big role. He wasn't a well-known name like he is now. Vin Diesel is a big name.
Yeah, definitely.
In 1999, I don't think he was.
Okay.
If he was, they would have put his name all over the posters.
No, true. Yeah, true. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this one thing. What do you think? So, apparently, like, there's definitely a lot of clues, and there's been some deleted scenes that show that the Iron Giant was originally sent basically to destroy Earth. Basically, he was programmed to be a weapon at first. So, what do you think? Do you think it was the power outage at the very beginning that kind of reprogrammed his circuits and kind of made him good initially, or like not as bloodthirsty, basically? What do you think about that aspect?
Because
that's what many people believe that.
So this is difficult because I have two opinions. I think whatever happened before the film starts. So before he gets to Earth. Because he helps, as soon as he gets to Earth, he helps the fishermen. If, when he was on Earth and his program hadn't been corrupted, he would have surely just started destroying things straight away.
At least a point, yeah.
Now, I do think that there's definitely reason behind it that he was sent to Earth to destroy Earth. For whatever reason. This is the 1950s as well that this is set in, so maybe it was extraterrestrials that had seen Earth and seen that they're about to wage nuclear war. There's a whole cartoon in the cartoon about dip and duck for the nuclear missiles, and the whole thing right at the end is the nuclear missile launching and the Iron Giant stopping it.
Yeah.
So I think that is a possibility. Also, I think the book, The Iron Man, that was wrote in the 50s as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure though. But I think that maybe he had landed, like, been hit by an asteroid or something on the way, or a meteor, and that had given him the dent in his forehead. So that's the reason why he crash lands. Because surely if he was sent, they would have programmed him to be able to land without crashing.
That's a good point, yeah.
As soon as he discovers Earth, and especially his friend...
Hogarth.
Hog. No, Hog.
Yeah.
Well, Hog was on the gun, yeah. As soon as he finds his... as soon as he starts learning about his friend, that's when he's the baby, and he's relearning what it is, and he adopts a lot of humanity into him. Now, the next question is, like, this is the question I'm going to pose to you, because I'm generally interested in this. If he is a self-fixing robot, right?
Yeah.
And he was utterly destroyed and decimated and re-crashed in the Arctic, does that mean that his programming was wiped again? So right at the end, is he just a baby? Then, if that's the case, who's going to find him? Are they going to be as nice as Hog? Or are they going to be scared and try and hurt it and then just keep going at it, and then you know what happens when you try and hurt the Iron Giant.
Yeah, definitely.
He goes mental. Like, he has literally unlimited amounts of power. The more you throw at it, the more he gets evolved.
Yeah, no,
the more he
yeah.
can destroy.
For me, that's an interesting question. My answer to that is, firstly, at the very end, the first thing he does when he gets everything together, he smiles. That's a big thing. Like, at the very beginning, when he was wiped out clean, like, he wasn't smiling. He wasn't doing any of that stuff. He was just kind of just a robot, basically, at that point. Maybe a dumb, like, unknowing robot, but he wasn't smiling, basically. So I think it lends credence to him knowing that, like, about Hogarth and all that stuff. I think the second thing is I was looking at the eyes. I was looking at the eyes to make sure it wasn't, like, the red evil eyes. Or, you know, because a clear difference between when he's, like, good robot and, like, evil, gonna kill everything robot. So that's the thing. And they were, like, the good robot eyes, so...
Well, no, I don't think he's gonna be a mass destroyer straight away. He had the good eyes, and he did do the smile at the end as well. When he landed, he had those white eyes straight away. He didn't have the red eyes until the gun was pointed in his face. Like, that was kind of like and the deer, actually, that was the first time you see the red eyes. It just glimmers on and then comes off.
Yeah, because it had the gun from the hunters. That's another clever foreshadowing in a way.
Oh yeah, no, that deer is very important actually, like in the plot.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely.
But anyway, it was. Oh, also, I found out how many words Vin Diesel spoke. 53. He uttered 53 words.
Of that's worthy of a paycheck in mind.
Yes.
I mean, technically, he spent 3 words in Guardians of the Galaxy, and he got paid for that.
Yeah.
Well, 4 words
technically.
Well, 5 words actually, but spoilers.
Groot. We are Groot.
Yeah.
I am Groot. We are Groot.
Yeah. 5 words. Big paycheck. Okay, but anyway.
Right.
But yeah, no. I kind of hope that he's like. I mean, we're never gonna find out. There's not gonna be a sequel. There's not gonna be any continuation to this. But like, I think it's interesting they do kind of leave it ambiguous in that sense. That said, I kind of hope like him and Hogarth like have a reunite and then people can understand robots and not think of them as killing machines.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what I did like about it was right, yeah, you see the satellite right at the beginning, and that's Sputnik.
Yeah, that is Sputnik.
And
yeah,
they reference Sputnik all the way through this.
Yeah.
So that kind of sets the age of the thing. They never actually say that it's set in the 50s. They never mention that.
That's actually...
I think... And there's a lot of this that goes all the way through it. They don't actually mention things. You just have to discover it on your own. And this is why I like this film. This is why I love this film. This is why I think it's one of the greatest animation films that there is. And especially with, at this same time, you've got Toy Story coming out. You've got, like, The Lion King wasn't that far behind it. Or... No, it was before, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was before.
It wasn't that far before
it. Was before.
Like, there's a lot of really great films that came out at this sort of time in the 90s. Aladdin, another animation that came out in the 90s. And this one is, I would say, one of the best. But it was so underwatched at the time that it's kind of became a cult classic now. It's like one of those lost gems that have been refound through through like digital media and stuff like that. And I think that's pretty freaking awesome. Also, another correction: the first book was published in 1968.
Yeah, I also heard that. I also heard that was like a Pete Townsend album, that the concept album based on the original book. And that was the one that inspired the movie. Like, they thought, like, making a musical based on this album, and that's how the Iron Giant got created, basically.
Well, Pete Townsend was actually, he was one of the producers, and if you guys don't know, Pete Townsend was the lead guitarist in The Who.
The Who?
And The Who.
The Who?
Well, yeah, it's The Who, because... They are British. I'm allowed to say that I say the name correctly. It's The Who.
The Who?
Yeah. But anyway, so... Oh.
Well, continue. We so, yeah. Good.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It's over by...
Like, another link
It's my son, too. Yeah.
like the Who is probably one of my greatest favorite bands, and Pete Townsend's probably one of my greatest guitarists as well. So to have him linked in some way, and I would have, it would have been interesting to see what it would have came of as a musical. It would have been interesting.
I'm not sure it would have, like, I like the idea, but I don't think it would have been as good as the film we have here.
Yeah. A Friend is a Friend. That's the Pete Townsend song, I think. But anyway.
Song for what? Really?
For the Iron Man.
Okay, anyway.
So it was like Pete Townsend did A Friend is a Friend, the Iron Man.
Okay. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the same concept, but it was live action.
Okay. Okay, so...
with a song as well.
Okay, so... Yeah, we got through most of my notes. I do want to quickly say before we close this off, like you said, very 50s film. I'm not sure if they ever mentioned, like, they don't mention the 50s. I'm not sure if they maybe had a card that said 50s, like the bottom text. I don't think they did. I'm kind of iffy on what. Still, very 50s film, and they don't make it blunt. They don't, well, they have a lot of references.
There's a lot of things that go on in this film that aren't blunt. Like, there's a lot of background information that are happening at the time, like the whole Soviet, like
the nuclear
the whole
war.
Soviet satellite is like a big giveaway that it's 1950s. So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, even the
pretty cool.
The federal guy literally says this is the nuclear age at this point.
Yeah.
Iron Giant. What else needs to be said? This is probably the best Superman movie ever made.
No, Superman is the best Superman movie.
I'm kind of
the original.
I prefer
Christopher Reeve Superman. Fucking awesome film.
I know, okay, I know you love it. I still kind of prefer this to the Superman. I like it. I'm not. Anyway, but still, it's a better one than Man of Steel. Better one, definitely.
Yes. Oh God, yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Any final thoughts from you, Womble? Since this is your pick.
No. But what I will, while we're on the topic of Superman, Brad Bird. Did he direct Superman Returns?
No,
in 2006?
that was Bryan Singer, the guy who did X-Man.
Oh, Bryan Singer. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. I get you. No, of course not. Tomorrowland was his first. Was it? Wait, was that his first live action?
Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible was his first.
Fuck it, I can't remember his names and stuff. I thought I could link that in somehow, but no, it's not.
Chris McDonald voiced the agent guy, and he played Superman's dad in the animated series.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, true fact. Anyway, so enough about that bullshit. Okay, time to talk about my pick, and now this time, Womble knows jack shit about this one. So, Let me set the mood, okay? The year is 2009. This was a big year for animation. There's a lot of great films, animated films that were released this year. Just looking at what was nominated for Best Animated Feature, there's The Princess and the Frog, Up, The Secret of Kells, Fantastic Mr. Fox. All of these were pretty good films, I think. All of them were great films. Also, some honorable mentions: Monsters vs. Aliens, and 9 was a good movie. It was produced by Tim Burton. Now, another film that he produced was The Nightmare on Elm Street. No, Nightmare Before Christmas. And who was the director of that film? Henry Selick. In 2009, Henry Selick directed another film, and that film...
This is a big, long walk around.
I tried to... Yeah, but Henry Selick directed a film in 2009, and that film is the film I'm going to be picking to watch next. It's a film I've never seen before, but I have wanted to see. It is Coraline.
Okay, yeah. I thought that was where you were going, actually.
Yeah, no, that was... I want to make it as convoluted as possible.
I haven't seen... This is surprising, actually, because I haven't seen Coraline either. I've seen pretty much every other film...
By Laika?
By Laika, yeah. Laika's probably one of my all-time favourite animation studios.
Oh, that'll be interesting. So this is a film that neither of us... I didn't know you haven't seen it yet, actually.
No, I'm surprised why I haven't, actually, because I had a girlfriend not long ago who was really into this film. So I'm surprised I didn't actually get around to watching it then.
Well, I mean, now that you're a single man and... Well, anyway, now we're going to get it. Now we have the time to watch it. That was awkward.
Anyway, guys, until
No.
next time, see you then, bye!
Well, wait, before we begin. Now, you have the chance to watch Coraline before we talk about it again, and I don't know why it matters, because we're going to be talking about spoiler-free. It's going to be interesting. I didn't know we both haven't seen it, so yeah, that's going to be interesting. Yeah. I'm just going to edit the very end of whatever the fuck Womble said, so adios, muchachos.
God damn it.
Bye.